Good morning, Dr. Gary on the road. We are dental practice brokers nationwide. We sell dental practices. Now, today's topic is, in a dental practice sale, how soon should the landlord be contacted? We're going to get into that today. We now have a team of 10 employees, including 2 CPA accountants, marketing director, operations director, and 5 development acquisition people. In addition, we've been doing the dental practice brokerage now for 13 years. I was a dentist for 25. So we are here at your service from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. every day, except Christmas and Easter. So feel free to call us. Now, our phone number is 201-663-0935, and our websites are dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwidedentalpracticebrokers.com. So contact us. Now, everything you're about to hear today is for entertainment purposes. It's our opinions only. It's not legal or business advice. If you are thinking about selling to a dental practice, to one of the DSOs, please give us a call. They will often pay our commission, so there'll be no commission to the seller with the larger DSO sales. And when you work with us, based on certain criteria, we can get your legal fees reimbursed upon successful closing. So call us about that and we'll give you some information. Now, this landlord, it depends what kind of landlord you have. Some are difficult, some are easy. When you're dealing with a management agency like in Manhattan, you're dealing with pros, okay? And they have a whole system set up and they think clearly. When you're dealing with the single seller, owner of the real estate, and you're only dealing with them directly and or their attorney, sometimes that could be a little challenging. So it really depends on the situation. But the key thing you must understand is get in touch with that landlord as soon as possible. It could be one of your major stumbling blocks. Now, when do you get in touch? Generally after a letter of intent, you should be able to talk to the landlord, because now letter of intent means you're going to buy the practice, you've given an offer, most likely the offer's been accepted, you're now going into dental contract creation. Some landlords want to see the contract, others will be okay with just a letter of intent. Some sellers don't want you talking to the landlord until they know they have a solid deal. Well, that's a wrong philosophy, because you never know with the dental deal. It could blow up minutes before the deal's about to go to closing. Minutes. So the seller shouldn't refrain from giving you the landlord information. I say right after. How much time you need? It could be, as short as 2 weeks. It could be as long as 3 months. Yeah. You have no idea how long some of these takes. So I knew one gal, doctor, it took her 6.5 months. 6.5 months, cost $18,000 in legal fees, and the deal never went to closing, all because of the landlord. That landlord was incredibly difficult to work with. Now, remember with landlords, and I've said this on other tapes, they don't care about their space not being rented until about a month or 3 months before the lease is to expire. 3 months before, 2 months before, that's it. 6 months, they're not worried about it. It's pretty unbelievable, but they don't care because they have the doctor, the previous tenant on the hook. Certainly 2 years, they're not even thinking about it. Now, there's a clause in the lease that they cannot unreasonably withhold the transfer of the lease. But they can come up with all kinds of excuses, take all the time they want. It just drives you crazy. So the landlords, you must get speaking to that landlord. And you as a buyer really shouldn't be doing the talking. You want your attorney doing it. And you don't want a lease guy. Well, you could have a lease person that handles it. Some people do that. I prefer your attorney who's going to handle the transaction for the dental deals, the same one handling this for this the lease transfer. But most of the time it's more than a transfer. It's going to be a transfer with extension because the bank needs 10 years. So landlords really are not inclined or motivated to even care about a new tenant because they have the present tenant on the hook. Present tenant is obligated for the next few years, unless there's a few weeks to maybe 2-3 months. They don't seem to worry about it. I don't know why, but they don't. Maybe now in these more difficult times, we have, like, I think San Francisco is 29% vacancy in their office buildings. Maybe they're a little bit more motivated. But it's something that they don't have the money coming in. You would think that the lease is an empty store. You would think they'd really be motivated, but sometimes not as much as you think. Time is of the essence. How soon? You get in touch with that landlord immediately through your attorney after the letter of intent is agreed to. Immediately. You may be restricted by the buyer because the seller may not give you the information right away or say hold off. Or the landlord may say, let me see the contract first before they waste their time and their expenses. You may have to pay the landlord's legal expenses. Could be $1,500, could be $3,000. Sometimes it's in the lease of the seller. Other times it's your lease. But either way, you've got to leave adequate time. Landlords can be very challenging to work with, extremely challenging. Even in these, we're in summer of 23. Even in these difficult economic times, some landlords are still very, very difficult. I do remember back in 2008 when things went crazy with the economy, landlords started becoming very flexible because they had empty spaces and they were agreeing to things they simply wouldn't agree to. Nowadays, or certainly before things started getting, the interest rates started getting like crazy. So be aware of this. You get in touch with that landlord as soon as possible. It should be your attorney that does it. Don't try to save money by you doing it. And the reason for that, once they hear from an attorney, the landlord knows it's a serious thing. When he hears from a buyer that's just fishing, you may find that they don't do anything. They don't really care, even if you're a professional. So listen to me. Time is of the essence. You move as soon as you can. You move rapidly. You get that lease assignment, lease extension, or new lease created ASAP. You waste no time whatsoever. All right? So remember this. Dr. Gary signing off. Please listen to these videos. We have a ton of the new ones. Subscribe if you want to hear the new ones. We have so many new ones coming up. But listen and you'll learn something, quite a few things. And then our new practices for sale are always coming out. Thank you.